He looked like a boring accountant. He was 40 years old, wearing a cheap dark suit and a perfectly pressed white shirt. He ordered a bourbon and soda. He paid with cash. To the flight attendant, he was just another passenger sitting in seat 18C. But inside his briefcase, he was hiding a bomb. And inside his head, he held a plan that would humiliate the FBI for half a century. This man is about to do something no one had ever done before. He is about to jump out of a passenger jet into a freezing thunderstorm, wearing nothing but a trench coat and loafers. He will take $200,000 with him. And he will vanish from the face of the earth. This is the legend of D.B. Cooper, the ghost of the skies. Welcome back to Sketchy Crimes. Here, we investigate the world's most incredible true stories, frame by frame. If you enjoyed our deep dive into the Alcatraz escape, you are going to love this one. Because while Frank Morris dug through a wall, D.B. Cooper walked right out the back door. Literally. November 24th, 1971. Portland International Airport. It is the day before Thanksgiving. The airport is crowded with families. A man approaches the counter of Northwest Orient Airlines. He buys a one-way ticket to Seattle. The name on the ticket is Dan Cooper. He boards Flight 305. He sits in seat 18C. He lights a cigarette. He is polite. He is calm. He is the definition of cool. Shortly after takeoff, Cooper hands a note to the flight attendant, Florence Schaffner. Florence thinks he is just a lonely businessman trying to give her his phone number. She puts the note in her purse without looking at it. Cooper leans forward. He whispers, "Miss, you better look at that note. I have a bomb." Florence opens the note. It is written in neat, all capital letters. It says, "I have a bomb in my briefcase. I will use it if necessary. I want you to sit next to me. You are being hijacked." She sits down. Cooper opens the briefcase just enough for her to see. Inside, there are red cylinders, a battery, and wires. It looks real. But Cooper isn't screaming. He isn't sweating. He tells her his demands. He wants $200,000 in $20 bills. He wants 4 parachutes. 2 back parachutes and 2 chest parachutes. And he wants a fuel truck standing by in Seattle to refuel the plane. Now, here is the genius part. Why 4 parachutes? If he was jumping alone, he would only need 1. Maybe 2 for safety. But 4. The FBI had to assume he might force a hostage to jump with him. This meant they couldn't sabotage the parachutes. They had to give him the good ones. The plane lands in Seattle. It is tense. The FBI scrambles to get the money. They assemble 10,000 bills. That is 21 pounds of cash. They deliver the money and the parachutes. Cooper keeps his word. He releases all 36 passengers and part of the crew. They get off the plane, happy to be alive. But Cooper stays on board. He keeps the pilots and 1 flight attendant. He outlines his flight plan. They are to fly to Mexico City. But they must fly low, under 10,000 feet, with the wing flaps at 15 degrees. And most importantly, the rear stairs must remain open. The pilots tell him it is dangerous to take off with the stairs down. Cooper argues, but eventually agrees they can lower them once they are in the air. 7:40 p.m. The plane takes off into the pitch-black night. It is raining hard. A storm is raging. Inside the cabin, Cooper tells the flight attendant to go to the cockpit and close the curtain. He is now alone in the back of the plane. He cuts the cords off one of the dummy parachutes to tie the money bag to his body. He puts on his dark sunglasses, even though it is night. 8 p.m. A warning light flashes in the cockpit. The rear air stair apparatus has been activated. The stairs are lowering into the howling wind. The pressure in the cabin changes. The pilots feel a bump. The plane lands in Reno, Nevada, for fuel. The FBI surrounds the aircraft. They storm inside, guns drawn. But seat 18C is empty. The rear stairs are hanging down, scraping the runway. D.B. Cooper is gone. He jumped into a freezing rainstorm, at 190 miles per hour, over the dense forests of Washington state. He was wearing a suit, a raincoat, and loafers. No helmet. No thermal gear. Just him and the money. Before we look for the body, let's talk about the impact of that jump. D.B. Cooper didn't just steal money. He changed aviation history. You see, the Boeing 727 was unique. It was the only commercial jet with a staircase in the back that could be opened during flight. Cooper knew this. He exploited a design flaw. Because of him, the FAA ordered a device to be installed on all Boeing 727s. It is a simple aerodynamic wedge that keeps the rear door locked when the plane is moving fast. Do you know what they call it? The Cooper Vane. He is the only criminal in history to have an airplane part named after him. Also, because of him, airports began installing metal detectors and searching bags. Before Cooper, you could walk onto a plane with a suitcase full of dynamite, and no one would blink. He single-handedly ended the golden age of air travel. But who was he? There is a strange clue in the name. He bought the ticket as Dan Cooper. The media made a mistake and called him DB, and the name stuck. But the FBI discovered something interesting about the name Dan Cooper. It is the name of a fictional hero in a French comic book series from the 1960s. In the comics, Dan Cooper is a test pilot who goes on dangerous adventures, often involving parachutes. Was the hijacker a fan? Was he sending a coded message? This clue suggests he might have spent time in Europe or Canada, where the comic was sold. It was a breadcrumb that led nowhere. Let's look at the physics of that night. The FBI initially thought he was an expert paratrooper, but later, profiling experts changed their minds. An expert would not jump into a storm wearing loafers and a trench coat. An expert would have asked for a helmet. The parachutes he used were not steerable. They were military surplus. Once he pulled that cord, he was just a leaf in a hurricane. He was drifting blind into a forest of Douglas fir trees that are 200 feet tall. It was pitch black. If he hit a tree trunk at that speed, it would break every bone in his body. Survival wasn't just unlikely. It was a miracle. The manhunt was massive. The FBI searched every inch of the forest. They used soldiers, helicopters, and even a submarine to search the lakes. They found nothing. No body. No parachute. No money. The only thing Cooper left behind was his black clip-on tie and 8 cigarette butts. But in 1971, DNA testing didn't exist. By the time it did, the cigarettes were lost. Years passed. The legend grew. Was he a master skydiver? Was he a former paratrooper? Experts say that jumping at night, in the rain, into a forest, is suicide. They say he probably landed in a tree and died. Or he landed in the river and drowned. But then, in 1980, a miracle happened. A young boy named Brian Ingram was digging a fire pit on a beach near the Columbia River. He found 3 bundles of rotting cash. $5,800. The serial numbers matched the Cooper money. The FBI rushed to the scene. They thought they would find the body nearby. They dug up the entire beach. They found nothing else. Just the money. Some say the money washed down from a river upstream. Others say Cooper buried it there to come back later. Or maybe he dropped it during the jump. Over the years, many people have confessed to being D.B. Cooper. There was Richard McCoy, a Vietnam vet who pulled a similar hijacking a few months later. There was Kenneth Christiansen, a flight purser who bought a house with cash shortly after the hijacking. Or maybe it was Robert Rackstraw, a brilliant but crazy ex-pilot with CIA connections. But none of them were a perfect match. The fingerprints from the plane didn't match. The descriptions were slightly off. To this day, the case of D.B. Cooper remains the only unsolved air piracy in American commercial aviation history. So, what do you think? Did he splash into the river and sink like a stone? Or did he land softly, bury some cash as a decoy, and walk away into the night? Is he the old man sipping coffee next to you in the diner? He beat the FBI. He beat the technology. And he beat the odds. In the end, maybe the money didn't matter. Maybe it was about the perfect crime. Let me know your theory in the comments below. Did he survive the fall? If you enjoyed this flight, make sure to subscribe to Sketchy Crimes and turn on notifications. We have more files to open. Next time, we are leaving the skies and going underground. We are going to tell you the story of the Antwerp diamond heist, where a group of thieves outsmarted the world's best security system using hairspray and tape. You don't want to miss that. Thanks for watching.